Hello, I'm not in my usual space. I did get a blackout at my apartment during this snowstorm, so I took shelter elsewhere. And there's this energy of needing to transmute some depression, some heaviness, some sadness, because it's going to be the turning point to heal the trust wound that you have with yourself. Because this is something that really, like, maybe you made the wrong choices or invested in wrong spaces and places, and it led to you getting really, really hurt. And sometimes that creates a very deep distrust, a deep wound of trust within. And so it's very important to sit with a lot of that feeling and understand the truth of where it lies, whether it's where maybe you lacked boundaries, lacked understanding, things along those lines, forgiving who you were when you lacked them, and moving forward into who you are as someone you can entrust internally. And it's 111 on my timer. Oh, and I love it. We have contemplation, messages, and deliberation. So that's going to be what I'm bringing here. Is a message towards someone who is really struggling. And it doesn't even actually really feel like fully struggling. It's just not easy. It's just not an easy thing. Yeah, so on the back of the deck, we have Mother Earth, creative feminine force, nurturing, and birth with a number 2. And I love that she's kind of like holding an embrace in the energy 143. I love you. I love you. And this is you just learning how to love yourself. You know, maybe you didn't have parents that showed you how to really address making mistakes, and not only like, repairing the hurt to others or other spaces, places, peoples, and things, but also the hurt to yourself, and learning to forgive yourself and address the things that you need to fully heal. So we have clarity, spirit path of the east, breakthrough, inner vision, and truth. And then we have freeze up moon, identity, self-discovery, and vulnerability. Yeah. So it's like the more you open up to, oh my gosh, and it's 222 and all of these. So I think this is really about really needing to correct the inner balance that you have within. Because also with identity coming out here, there could be like an identity to your sadness. Like you've been through so much. You may have kind of gotten used to the pain, but this is where like this kind of mentality where you're just used to the pain, you're used to everything kind of falling apart or nothing really working out. That's kind of what leads up to a victim mentality, where it takes away the ability for you to recognize where your power lies. 311 on my timer in certain situations. And so the more that you kind of address the sadness from making the wrong choices, investing in the wrong spaces and places, 321, is the sooner you'll understand where you actually internally struggle with seeing your own power, right? It's like, say somebody does you dirty, but there were red flags. There were a bit of warnings that you kind of overlooked, and now you're sitting in the aftermath of what the price is of overlooking certain things. And so the more that you recognize, like, oh, maybe let's say romantic or platonic, like I overlooked these certain traits, and now I'm sitting here kind of experiencing the wrath or the experience of those traits, and they're hurting me. But it's like I knew this person had this tendency. So as much as I want to be mad at them, I also kind of have to hold that truth and understanding to myself that I also invested in these spaces and places, knowing that they weren't really in alignment with what I'm looking for or the energy that I had. A shelter warning for the cold because it's going to get freezing again. Single digits. But yeah. I just want you to know that on the other end of this accountability is the clarity for you to see who you really are, outside of your fears, outside of your wounds, outside of what you've been through, so that you can create who you are and who you are to become, rather than so focused on who you were and what you've been through. And so if you're like definitely seeking freedom, this is kind of what it takes, which is recognizing where you give up your freedom, where you give up your power, where you give up your knowing and your wisdom for maybe comfort or ease. But, and it's not to like bring this to awareness to shame, it's to bring it to awareness to heal, to grow, so that you can have the clarity that you're truly seeking to heal and move on into an identity that doesn't consistently accept pain as normal, right? Depression as normal. Like you're having to truly fight for your soul. You really are. And it's making me think, like, I'm over at a friend's and I was kind of having an honest conversation where I was like, you really do have to do the hard things for yourself if you want to show up and love yourself. Sometimes that means doing the things you don't really want to do. Showing up and having the hard conversations and recognizing the hard truths, 555, to help grow, elevate, and shift and change you. So that's kind of what I see. Oop, yep. That fell. And then we have rest and cleansing moon with balanced relationships, self-expression, and boundaries. Yeah, and this is kind of what you'll step into, is like gaining back your power that you didn't recognize you were giving out so freely. Because again, this feels like patterns, right? And wanting to really get out of certain ways of living but not understanding how. It's because there's these little subconscious patterns, and this video here is to help illuminate where those patterns could be so that you can see them and free yourself, so that you can experience this world in a much more positive light rather than fearing, connections or growth or responsibility or being seen, right? All these little things that you're meant to do and meant to engage in within community, they all lie dormant within you, waiting for you to stop fearing yourself and start trusting yourself. Start trusting your abilities, your wisdom, your body, your emotions, your guidance. And that's not to be like egotistical or unrealistic. Not that I even really like that word, it's just what I heard. It's just to be honest. Because sometimes real love is being real honest, and not disrespectful honest. It's, hey man, like, I've noticed you've been slacking. Hey man, I'm assuming we're talking to a mirror, or like maybe I'm just telling you as a friend. 747. Hey man, like, I'm not really doing what I need to be doing. Hey man, this anger is really getting to me. Hey man, this sadness has really taken over. Like, I feel like I can't get up. I can't follow through on responsibility. And it's not to sit there and be like, okay, well, my sadness validates it, because it doesn't. It's to recognize where it's coming from. Okay, well, do you address it more? Hey, why are you sad? Have you been focusing on that? Have you been clearing out that energy? Or do you just kind of simmer in it? 6:11 on my clock. So that's kind of just what this is like a readdress of, like, if you want to get up and get out of this kind of space, you have to be really honest and like put in the hard effort to see yourself clearly and see further into your subconscious, so that you can see who you really are and get past these untouched subconscious loops that are waiting for you to recognize them. Because it's not like they're not visible. It's just sometimes we don't have the right tools to see them. So this is your tool. I am the tool. And if you feel, by the end of it, if you really, really feel like therapy is a very beautiful tool, opening up to friends and family is also a very beautiful thing to remind yourself that you're not alone. 9/11, especially if you're dealing with like real deep depression, do not be afraid to seek help if it is that crazy deep, because it feels like a very big range in my energy. But just remember that you're not walking alone. It's just sometimes facing yourself can be the hardest but biggest step in effort to free yourself from any kind of victim mentality. No matter how small, it has a great effect. So don't underestimate it. Don't underestimate your ego. Baby, don't do that. Because you deserve this peace, and you deserve this clarity. And you deserve to live free. And that should be a beautiful affirmation. Period.